Hi everybody, this is Rick here. Welcome to Digital Fortress. I'm going to do a part 2 to a 2-part video, and I'm just getting connected up for the live stream here. Looks like I've got a few other folks. Hey Wingdot, hey WC, how are you doing there? I see if you're over in the other chat, but yeah, part 2 is what this one's going to be. Let me make sure I let the folks know that I did not connect this time. King Cardano, welcome, how you doing? And let me let the folks know I'm on the other chat, and we'll get started with the Daedalus Flight 2, Part 2. Flight 2 is launched today. Woohoo! Flight 2 is up, so you can get it. I'm going to go over that briefly here and review Part 1 quickly, where I made a few mistakes, and then get on to Part 2. And let me see if I can get that other link out there, and I can. So let's see, put that over there. All right, hey M1 Props, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I really should use OBS, but wow, OBS uses some serious compute power when you spin it up. I'm going to be spinning up 2 wallets at the same time. And Zoom seems to be a little bit lighter on it. Okay. Oh, where did my YouTube window go? I got too many windows again. I thought I would get used to this, but obviously that hasn't happened yet. Okay. Ready for part 2 here. All right. Okay, so part 2 is going to be, I'm going to quickly touch on the previous part 1 on installation, and then I'm going to show you some neat new things that are in Daedalus Flight 2 that are very important. The first mistake I made was when I installed the Daedalus Flight 1, the Mac computer didn't bark at me. Windows will do the same thing, and it didn't bark at me and say, hey, you have to allow this software. It doesn't have a code signature. The code has signatures on it. The Daedalus Flight 2, FC2 is what it's on now, has the code signatures built into the code. So much like any other software that you use, you don't have to do the PGP test like I showed you in part 1. However, the reason for doing like the PGP test and the SHA-SUM test that I showed in part 1 is before you launch the installer, you verify it's the correct code. That way you don't have code that has a virus in it. And that's the whole point of doing those checks before you install it. And it's still very important. And I think the only reason my computer failed those checks in part 1 is because I'm running Mac OS X Catalina, and Catalina broke a lot of stuff. All right. So let me get my little chat window popped out here, and I'm going to share my screen over to you. Okay, let's see. Hey, WC. Okay, pop out chat. And we're going to go into the screen share, and I'm going to do the installations. Okay, so first will be a quick install of the wallet. And I'm going to share this desktop out. And there it goes. Okay, so I'm on the Daedalus website here, Daedalus Wallet IO, Flight. Make sure you're on the Flight section. I'm installing for Mac. I'm going to download Daedalus Flight. I hit that, and if you're going to do the PGP signature check, you're also going to download the PGP signature, then click on the direction, follow directions. Now, I went over that in part 1, and I got other videos on my channel, so I'm not going to do that. And because I'm running Catalina, I think the PGP signature check failed. Okay, then I'm going to install the Daedalus Flight 2, and I'm going to launch the Daedalus mainnet regular wallet. Oh, something very important. I know I mentioned this in my other video also. The ADA in the Flight 2 wallet is real mainnet ADA, so keep that in mind, okay? So here's the signature, and here's the installation. I'm going to do the installation. Now notice whenever I boot it up, the Mac did not stop me and say this software is unsigned. That's what it usually did with the mainnet wallets and other software that I get from third-party apps that are not on the App Store. So now because this has the signature, then it because it has the signature, I didn't get this thing operating system stopping me from doing it. And usually what I got to do is go into system security and allow it. Okay, so we're going to install it. Now I already have the blockchain installed, so launching the wallet isn't going to take very long at all. If you got questions, let me know in the chat. Now, one thing that I noticed, hey WC, how's it going? The one thing I noticed is there's no uninstaller, and I realized, ooh, that's a feedback that I can do, give you some, and show you how to put the feedback report ticket on the Zendesk. Okay, installation successful. I'm going to keep the binary, okay, and then launch the wallets. Okay, so that is something that I can write a feedback report on, that there is no uninstaller for Daedalus, because you know how crypto people are, being, you know, ultra paranoid, or usually kind of in a good way, if you're going to sell a computer, get rid of a computer, and you had crypto on it, you're going to want to make sure you uninstall everything. Now, Daedalus installs on the Mac, it puts most of the files in the library application support folder, Daedalus folder, and then there are some files in the root directory. I don't know if they go away when you delete Daedalus, but I realized that when I went to install Daedalus Flight 2 and I had Flight 1 already on there, and I realized, wait a second, if I wanted to completely delete it, how would I do it? So I'd have to pick through the file system and clean it all out, or use a third-party cleaner. So that's a good point of feedback, is to have an uninstaller, because crypto people are, if you had crypto on a computer or hard drive and you're going to sell that hard drive, you're going to probably run wipe disk on it, where it writes a million ones and zeros a million times over and over again, the entire hard drive. Then you'll take it out in the backyard, pour gasoline on it, and light on fire, right? And that's probably how a crypto person is going to dispose of their hard drive. Then beat it with a sledgehammer when you're done, because you had crypto on it, right? So an uninstaller might be useful if needed, but it wouldn't be really high priority. So I got the new wallet installed here. Hopefully you can see my wallet there, or my desktop there, okay. Now I'm going to launch, have Daedalus Flight and Daedalus Mainnet, both of them. This is ITN. We're going to do ITN, separate network, all right. Which one should I launch first? It's going to be a race. We're going to have a race and see which one synchronizes the blockchain first, okay? Which one do you think? Let me know in the chat. Borislav says, destroy the hard drive. Yeah, I'd beat it with a sledgehammer. So I'm going to launch the old school wallet first. I'll give it a little bit of a head start. So launch, and their blockchains are at the same height. I stopped them both at the same time about an hour ago, a little more than an hour ago. So launch Daedalus, then launch Daedalus Flight. Let them both come up. And I'll show you some neat stuff on here too that I found earlier today. Okay, so there's Flight. Let me hit I understand. Okay, and so I got Flight on the left and old school mainnet on the right. So this is 1.1.0. Now notice the difference in the icons with them booting up. Okay, they're almost the same. This one has the bell. This one has, oh, look how fast that one's going. Okay, the Flight is still connecting to network, but a new cool feature is that the Flight, once it connects to the network, even though it's still synchronizing the blockchain, it will let you operate the wallet. I noticed that earlier. Oh, it looks like old school wallet got up there first. The federated wallet opened first. They were probably at about 99.9%. So they were really far along in the blockchain. Daedalus Flight 1.0 is still connecting to network, but they can both launch at the same time. Ah, man, old school one. What the heck? I was thinking Flight. But if you had to sync the entire blockchain, Flight would go a lot faster. When I did it earlier, when I first put it on there, it took an hour and a half for Flight to completely synchronize the blockchain the first time. Then when I did an update today, it took it about 2 minutes to go from 93% to 100%. So 93% to 100% on the mainnet took about 2 minutes. Looks like it's still connecting the network. There is a different connection technique in there. So this one connected old school. Let's see here. Any questions in chat? Let me know. Hey, Duck, how's it going? Oh, Duck says congrats with Digi Zero. It's not. It didn't go through Cardano Foundation yet. I gotta wait for it to go through Cardano Foundation. We'll have a Digi Zero pull up. The leader node is running, but you can't see it in Daedalus on ITN. That's on ITN. Connecting to network. Come on, baby, you can do it. Come on now, we're getting there. Now, if you have, see how it says it's not responding or it's not syncing, you can click on these indicators and see what's going on there. We'll give it a little bit of time. This might be a short live stream. It didn't take this long when I launched it earlier. on launch flight 1. It connected up pretty quick. And I thought, oh, it's ready for live stream. It's working pretty good. Hello, Sam Stevens. How you doing? Thumbs up, duck. It'll get there. But anyway, here you have your indicators for launch. Red, connecting to network here. Is the time correct? The node time is correct. And is it syncing or not syncing? And I give it a minute to sync. CPU ramped up a little bit there. And I can always check. It looks like it's downloading the blockchain. Actually, I might be able to do this part now. Yeah, I can do this part now because they're both talking to the network, and wait for the flight wallet to come up all the way. All right, so let me touch on this part real quick. And that is the code signature. That's really cool. All right, so I have 2 nodes up here. Okay, this one's the old school node. This one is the flight node, still connecting, still connecting. Yep, there it goes. All right, so here's an interesting thing I wanted to show you. This Cardano node is the current mainnet 0.15.1 shown here. Okay, this Cardano node is the new one. And I have this tool that I have here is called Little Snitch. So you see on the old one, 0.15, you see the code signature, it says not signed. And you can do this in Windows too with software. I forget how to do it, but you can check, is the code signature valid? And also notice how it connects. It's using these host names with like a built-in URL. The URL is kind of like hard-coded in there, and then relays mainnet. And these IP addresses that it's connecting to. Now the new one, let me make sure I'm on the new one. Now the new one, if you look over here, when I go to the new one, it has the code signature. See that? It has a valid code signature. I hit show certificate and it pulls up the code certificate. Now I missed this, 2 days ago when I did the Flight 1 installation. Here it has all of the information for the IOHK code signature. Of course, this would be after installation. The PGP version is for before installation. Okay. All right. So it looks like now it started communicating. See this little communication tick mark right here? It connected to the network and downloaded the blockchain. So that one's probably open now. And it is. Okay. Here's the Flight 1 wallet open. Let me go back over to Little Snitch here. So it's got a valid code signature from IOHK. This is a good thing. Here's why this is a really good thing. Now you could like put it on the App Store or the Windows Store or something like that. I don't know what the requirements are, but the signature is inside the software itself, and the Mac detected it, and the Mac did not stop me from installing it or force me to do something weird. And the host name is the relays technew.cardano.mainnet IOHK. Okay, so it's using domain name service, DNS, at least it looks like it. Where's that little thing at? Oh, UDP port DNS 53. So it's using DNS to connect. Let me narrow that list down a little bit. Or at least it looks like it's using DNS to find the IP addresses to connect to, similar to this one, plus the hard-coded, and then the IP addresses. All right, so at least the cool thing is it got the signature in there. Now the wallet's open. And there was one, so one thing I was going to put in there was the feedback report. Let me show you that. Hi there, Gene Pasker. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. And that is, oh, I got too many browsers open again. I have my IOHK Zendesk login. Now the way you can get to this web page right here, oops, is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. Okay, is you can select settings. Oh, no, is it settings? Where did I put it? No, put it. Okay, help. It was the support ticket. That was it. Support request. Okay. Launch a support request. That's just Mac puts the Windows menus weird. They put them up there instead of putting them on the window itself, like Windows and Linux does. All right, so here's my support ticket, and I'm logged in. You can see up here I'm logged in, so they know who it is. And the subject would be, if you've never used this before, this was the key. I want to make sure you can give feedback, so everybody can download Daedalus Flight 2, run it, operate it, look at it, and then get in there and submit the feedback reports. This one is going to be uninstallation. I'll go ahead and submit this one. Uninstallation file needed or uninstallation method needed for Daedalus, because I didn't see one. And when you type it in, you'll see it gives you instructions. Let me open this link in a new tab and see what that says. And maybe the instructions are there. Uninstall Daedalus. On Windows, restart your computer, go to Control Panel in Windows, select Uninstall Program, and type %app data, locate Daedalus folder and delete it. And then here's the one for Mac. It tells you how to delete it. Unhide the library folder. This is where you're going to get Mac users in trouble, okay? Mac users aren't that bright. I know, I am one, okay? And then Linux, of course, you go into the command line, and Linux users are pretty good at that. I know, I also use Linux, and I always make fun of Mac user forums compared to Linux forums, because Mac user forums are always really kind of like dumb, but Linux forums are super advanced. So anyway, I'm going to go back over to my submit ticket here and just say, hi, I recommend putting an uninstaller method in Daedalus. You know, love, Rick. Oops, just kidding. Cheers, Rick. And what you want to do is be very thorough, not like this. Make sure if you have a problem with the wallet, fill out all of the indicators you can see. Look at every single indication that could be wrong. Make sure you're connected to the internet like you're supposed to be, and put all of those details in there. Then this website's like a little wizard. And the product is Daedalus, and the version is FC2. So FC2 is on the list, and the operating system is Catalina. And then please do not send sensitive information. Click the checkbox. And if you have to install your log files, you can do them like I showed in part 1. Drop your files here and then hit submit. And sometimes it makes you do a little CAPTCHA, but since I'm logged in, it probably entered it. And it entered it. Yay, look at that. Okay, so it entered a ticket for that piece of feedback. So there's two different kinds of feedback. One is if you suggest an improvement or a missing feature, and the other type of feedback is if it's broken and you need help. And sometimes you might be the first person to identify the problem. Somebody has to be. But when you go to enter it, you'll see that it gives you feedback. So that's how you enter the ticket. I used to log in on that one at the IOHK Zendesk, all right? Okay, so let's compare the two wallets. I'm surprised the old school Daedalus won the race on that one. I'll try it again with, I'll do another video where I delete the blockchain from both and start them both at the same time, where they got to go from 0 to 100%, and we'll see if there's a difference there. Because that's supposed to be one of the things, okay? So let's compare the two wallets side by side here briefly. I don't have Ada. I'm going to do a third-part video. I'm trying to keep these short. The third-part video, I'll put Ada in and do operate. Right now, it's just the controls and indicators. And you can see here's Daedalus Flight on the mainnet and Daedalus Regular. And probably the first most obvious thing is it doesn't have the paper wallet indicator over here. So you can't yet do paper wallets on Daedalus Flight. Keep that in mind. You have the language settings, and on the settings, you have more settings on Daedalus Flight where you can change your number format, date and time format, etc. I touched on the other one, and you also have the different features under the settings menu, where in the current mainnet wallet you have themes, and you can change the theme, but with Daedalus Flight you can't change the theme. Now Daedalus Flight does have some newer, more advanced features. This is the basic iconography. And there's a list of them on the Daedalus Flight webpage. I should probably hop over to that. I'll hop over to that at the end if anybody's still here. All right, let's see. Wingdot likes the Penguin better than the Apple. I like the Penguins too. Apple has really good security out of the box, but Linux is just, if you like to tinker, Linux is the way to go. Okay. So we were going over here to the Daedalus Flight wallet. Now this blockchain sync indicator will show you if it's synced or not, if it's updated, and when wallets are updating, it'll give you a little progress bar up here. The only way I'm going to be able to show that is by putting in a new wallet on this Daedalus Flight. So let me punch one in here real quick. I'm going to create new, and we'll call this one, let me see, we got Iron Man, Thor, and we'll call this one Thanos, and we'll put in a dumb password that I use for training. And then you can see the sync process, and we'll see how fast it syncs up. Okay, create wallet. I confirm nobody can see my screen. Part 1, I went over the details. I still got to wait for this countdown timer. And then I'm going to make the wallet. Now, of course, the secret words are going to show up on the screen. This will be the 12 words. You can put a 15 word. That's a new feature. You can put in a 15 word recovery phrase. So let me hit continue and copy these guys down. Never ever do this. Never ever show them, and never ever copy them like that, because it just went on my iCloud. You always write them down, or put them in one of those steel wallets. Steel wallets are great. Or tattoo it on your inner thigh where no one will ever see it again. That's a good way to hide it. You probably won't even find it yourself. Anyway, just kidding. Okay, I've written my stuff down. Okay, make sure you never do what I just did. That was just for the training purposes only. We're going to check the sync process and then look at a couple other features. And what the heck, disagree. Oops. I'm going to have a hard time seeing it. Put this out of the way. Okay. Disagree, Creek Oven. Industry. Expose. Oh, you know what? I'm doing this for user feedback, so I shouldn't race through this. I wonder if there should be more warnings. I don't know. Imagine Aunt Betsy and Uncle Bob. Or Aunt Alice and Uncle Bob. What am I on? Uncover. Ozone. I used to be able to multitask, but then I got old. Okay, Kingdom. Kick. And I understand simplest way, and I understand. So these warnings good enough. I went through them in part 1. Keep my wallet secures, never stored digitally online. Correct. If I do use an online service with an encrypted database, okay. You can do that, and I understand the only way to cover it is to have these. Confirm. Okay, so is there enough warnings? That's a good question. Now you have a sync status. So this wallet is now open. You see how I go to different wallets? This is one of the new features. This wallet is synchronizing, but I can still operate it. Now, I can't really do anything with it. I guess I can go in here and set the password. You do have to set a password before you use it. Okay, so I can go in there and operate that wallet while it's still syncing up. And where's it at? 1.35%, 1.7% synced. And that's been about a minute. So it looks like 2% in a minute. So that's going to take less than an hour, or it might take less than an hour for that wallet to sync up. We'll see. We'll check it whenever I'm done here. And so I'm going to go through the remaining controls and indicators. And the other add wallet features. Look at that for a moment. So you got create and restore. Now when you hit restore, here's some of the new features. Daedalus Wallet and Yoroi Wallet. You can put in a 15-word passphrase. So even though when I started it up, it offered me a 12-word passphrase, you can do 15-word passphrase or word seeds. And by selecting which one you're going to restore, then from there, it's kind of like a wizard. And then the next question comes up and says, what kind of Daedalus wallet would you like to restore? 12 words or 27-word paper wallet. So you can restore a 27-word paper wallet with this Daedalus, with this Flight 2. This is my first time running through it, so bear with me. Yeah, so pretty cool. So I can do a 27-word and then continue, but I don't have a 27-word with me, so let me cancel that and restore and take the other option, Yoroi, continue, and here it gives you the 15-word Yoroi recovery. All right, so you can do all the multiple types of wallet, bring Yoroi in, bring in a paper wallet, and so on. Pretty cool, nice feature, and it should be pretty user simple, I'm hoping, for at least for the advanced user, intermediate to advanced users. But new users will have a lot of questions. They'll read through the text there and say, what is that? Now here's something interesting. See this grayed out part? It says join a shared wallet. I never seen that before. What is that? I don't know. What are they working on? That kind of telegraphs the move right there. There's also import wallet from a file. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before either. Curious as to what that's going to be. I don't know what that is. All right. So this part is just the controls and indicators. I have a wallet, controls and indicators. How's that guy doing? Ooh, it's on 9% already, so it's restoring pretty quick. I was comparing them side by side. Look pretty much the same. Went over some minor differences in the controls and indicators. I don't have any ADA in there yet, so you won't see the ADA sent, ADA received indicators. Oops, I shouldn't be clicking on that wallet. Anyway, that was my first staking or whatever. And let's see, turn, support. All these are pretty much the same. In the settings, if you need support, just reopen a support ticket. I touched on that one on the first video. And I guess one of the biggest differences, instead of having this bug down here, it has the indicator for that it's the Flight wallet. Okay, and remember the Flight wallet has this bright yellow text on it. Okay, so I hit I understand. This one has the bug report indicator, which launches your support window. That's where it takes you, okay, which is the same window as we went to here. It's kind of like a shortcut. So if you need to report a bug, I like the bug. I think the bug's neat. This menu's going to get kind of full. All right, any other controls and indicators? Questions in the chat, let me know. Hopefully this was helpful. But the key is, how do you provide feedback and what works for you on the wallet, and what do you think can be improved? So this is the end of part one. I did want to keep it short. I'm going to go back and delete these wallets. These are compromised. I did the private key online. And so I'll delete these ones out, make a new wallet, send some real ADA to it, and then do part three will be operating the wallet, where we'll go into more detail. And I think I'll make a paper wallet and enter that in, see how well that works. Okay, so any questions? I see we're good to go in the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm pretty much done with that part. The key, and so Flight 2 is out. I put a link down below. As soon as I'm done with the video, I'll make sure I put updated links in there so you can get the Flight 2 if you want to check it out. Y'all have a great day, and thanks for watching Digital Fortress. Take care. Bye-bye.